Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Coach Josh. Welcome to the Good Guys Podcast. We're just waiting for Brandon to navigate through the cyber world, man. He's coming in from up north, and we Southerners are just waiting on BD to come in. Hope you guys are doing well, man. Do me a big favor and share this broadcast to as many, podcast, to as many people as possible. We got a very good topic, man. Brandon, where are you, bro? Hey, I'm too bright, man. Lord, the glory is on Coach Josh. Let me turn my light down. There we go. Hope you guys are doing well. Come on in to the podcast, man. I know we're 2 days late. It definitely wasn't my fault. Oh, there he is. I see you, BD. I see you amongst the other viewers, dog. Man, this thing takes a little while. There you go. Hoodie Dixon.
Hoodie B.
Hoodie B.
It's cold down here in the basement, bro.
It's cold. Oh, let me turn you down, BD. You so loud.
Turn me down in the headphones, dog.
Dog, don't want you that loud, dog. Uh-oh. Mm-hmm. All right, BD. You ready to push start this time?
Hey, shut up.
Just making sure.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Welcome to another episode of the Good Guys Podcast. My name is Brandon Dixon. I am a happily married man and a humble father of 4. And as always, I am joined by none other than the Honorable, the Reverend Joshua Ezzy.
What's good, B? How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. It's another day. It's another podcast. I'm feeling good about this one this week, and I'm ready to do it. J.E.
Man, let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it.
You ready to get right into it?
Yeah, born ready. Let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. So we're going to start off, as we usually do, with the weekly airing of grievances. Piggybacks off of our discussion last week. We talked a little bit about dating last week. So we talked about is money important, in dating. So I came across a news story this week that has to do with dating. Doesn't have to do with money. Okay. Money does not play a factor in this dating experience. Rather, this dating experience is based, Josh, off of smell. Smell. It's called smell dating.
How do they smell you through the internet?
Let me explain. I'm on the website right now, so I'm gonna. Okay. So this is how it works. All right. We send you a T-shirt. You wear the T-shirt for 3 days and 3 nights without deodorant.
Is this the resurrection?
This is
3 days and 3 nights.
3 days and 3 nights without deodorant. Okay.
Wow.
You return the shirt to us in a prepaid envelope. We send you swatches of T-shirts worn by a selection of other individuals. You smell the samples and tell us who you like. If someone whose smell you likes the smell of you too, we'll facilitate an exchange of contact information. The rest is up to you.
So you don't see the person that smelled your shirt?
You don't see the person whatsoever. All you're doing is they're mailing you a T-shirt. You will wear it for 3 days. You will not wear deodorant. Okay? You'll send it back. They'll send you some T-shirts of some people who also wore T-shirts without wearing deodorant. And then you will choose which musty T-shirt you prefer. And they will coordinate the exchange of information. And that is how you meet the one for you that you've been missing your entire life. Joshua Ezzy, will you be signing up for smelldating.com?
Man, I'm out the game, bro. I don't got time. My jersey in the rafters, boy. I'm good money, B.
Okay.
I'm not smelling nobody.
Okay.
Smelling somebody 3 days and 3 nights?
Okay, I know you're taken, but hypothetically speaking, if you were still single,
No.
not
No,
even.
you're not setting me up with this, BD. You're not setting me up.
I'm just saying, come on.
No hypotheticals, BD.
I mean, smell is important. You need somebody who, has that certain smell. I think it's like pheromones. It's like a pheromones type thing, which is like I don't even understand the whole science behind pheromones, but it's supposed to be like, you give off a certain natural odor that is supposed to be like naturally attractive, to other people and things like that. I don't know. I guess that's what they're going for. But for me, I mean, the whole no deodorant thing is just doesn't seem
So no. So you're not supposed to wear deodorant for 3 days and 3 nights?
right. No deodorant.
How are you supposed to go to work? This must be through Friday through Sunday afternoon.
You could do a Friday through Sunday. Yeah, you could do that.
You that desperate for somebody that you want to go? You mean Match.com failed you? Christian Mingle failed you? Going to the club failed you? Walking to your local grocery failed you?
Maybe if you
That now you're going to smell.com?
smell.com. Maybe if you've tried all of those things, maybe you've been on Match.com. Maybe you've been on Christian
You
Mingle.
tried Jesus, bro.
And maybe you're still single. What if you've tried all those things and you're still single? Maybe.
If I was God and you tried me, you didn't trust me, I'm going to send you somebody, all right.
From smell.com, maybe.
But, bro, you can't see who you smelling.
I don't know, man. Let me read this. This is interesting. So they've got like some question and answers here on the website. All right. So the question is, I'm looking for a serious relationship. Is this service for me? The answer, the olfactory apparatus, I have no idea what that is a non-trivial source of information, and the extent of its impact on our social lives is currently unknown. I don't know what any of that means. However, when it comes to long-term romantic partnership, it may actually be riskier to ignore the powerful signal of scent than to rely on it. Smell researchers even speculate that high contemporary divorce rates may be related to the overuse of deodorants and the underuse of our natural olfactory intelligence.
Man, get out of here. These people still single, or sexuality is they're very confused.
Josh.
You mean to tell me, so I'm more close to a woman if she smells than when she smells good? Is that's the science behind it?
According to this, Josh, the high divorce rates, are due to the overuse of deodorant. The high
divorce rate is money and sex and infidelity. It ain't got nothing to do with smells. Talk about. I'm drawn away from you because you smell good.
That's basically what they're
saying. Let me process the logic.
Okay.
I'm drawn away from you because you smell good.
You're too reliant on that good smell. The good smell could be, it could be distracting you from the real truth about the person, maybe.
Hey man, we're trying to hide the truth.
We all think.
That's what modern technology has gotten us. That's why if you left us amongst ourselves, bro, we couldn't get nothing done.
Yeah, man.
Have you smelt yourself?
I try not to.
I try, boy. Listen, bro. Listen, I be in that fragrance aisle, bro. I'd be like, man, listen, powder, deodorant, cologne, man. Listen, bro.
Having all the smell goods.
I sweat a lot, bro.
Boy,
I don't got time to be
sitting
there for 3 days and 3 nights with myself. Before I get to sit with you, I got to sit with myself for 3 days and 3 nights.
No deodorant. Well,
I'm cheating, bro.
They say that, you can tell a lot about a person by that, that person wearing a shirt for 3 days without wearing deodorant. You could, maybe if the shirt's really sweaty, maybe they work out a lot. That's an admirable trait. That's something that you might want,
Hey man, I'm straight, bro.
If it smells good, like it smells like, they were grilling, maybe look. There's a lot you can tell.
Must and chicken seasoning, bro. Still don't smell right, bro. You could listen. I'm not about to be smelling through shirts to find out if you could cook or not. Well, once you open that bag,
oh God, all kinds of smells. What in the world?
All kinds of smell. That I smelt your morning musk,
Right.
your midday musk, bruh.
Combined with a bacon
And
cheeseburger.
bacon cheeseburger, like, bruh, I'm not gonna smell the good through that must.
It's a cornucopia of smells that just entices you and just lets you know.
And it's shipped in a bag by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's some sick people out here, bro. That you go to smell.com to find love. Jesus coming back, bro. He is coming back, bro. Because what's next?
There's something for everybody. I mean, maybe this is.
What, I gotta mail my feces next?
Whoa.
Is that what next? That's where we going. That's where we going.
That's disgusting.
And that's just as disgusting as someone mailing your shirt that you sat in for 3 days and 3 nights.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Did you?
Why? Wait.
All right.
Who? Wait a minute. Who wears the same shirt for 3 days in a row? Like,
somebody looking for love, B.
that's problematic in so many ways. I don't. If you wear the same shirt for 3 days in a row, I don't want to date you. Like, if you're willing to wear the same shirt for 3 days in a row, I don't want to date you.
Bro, do you smell your day one first wearing of a shirt? Do you smell that? After you hoop? Bro,
You about to throw it in the washing machine? You like, oh.
Bro, so boy, people gotta pick me up, bro. I be smelling. I'm like, God, I about lost my life, Lord. That's why I hoop when it comes to my shirt. I take it off, take a couple of jump steps back, shoot it right in that washing machine.
Ooh, Kobe.
Step back, bro. I'm on the second floor. My washer on the second floor. I gotta be careful with my step back, B. I might fall off the. But anyway,
don't hurt.
That's nasty, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. So,
hey man, let's keep going, man. That's disgusting, bro. Let's get into our topic.
Safe to say, we won't be utilizing that service. But if you are looking for love and you feel like you want to know that somebody smells delightful, go to smelldating.com. Smelldating.com. Holler at the Good Guys Podcast. I'll advertise your service for a nominal fee. No shame in my game.
But you're married.
I said advertise. I didn't say use. I said advertise. I just gave them a free shout out. This is free pub that they're getting from the Good Guys Podcast. We have 63 subscribers on YouTube. So,
hey man, let's get it to 100 by this weekend, y'all.
Hey, let's get it to 100 before we start and get into the meat of the podcast. I appreciate everyone who has been watching the podcast and going to Good Guys Podcast on YouTube and subscribing to the podcast. I think we're up to 63 now. We are growing exponentially. I appreciate that. If you're watching the podcast and you're enjoying the podcast, please do the same. Subscribe so that you can be made aware anytime we drop some new content. It could be anytime because I'm not consistent. Josh is. Okay?
I am very consistent. I was here Tuesday. I was excited. And now football season starts today. Oh, the preseason. And,
All right. Anyway,
let's get into it, BD.
All right. So what we're going to talk about today, we're still kind of piggybacking off of last week with the dating theme, piggybacking off of smelldating.com. Okay? We're talking about things that are important when it comes to choosing a mate. So this week, we're going to talk about not smell, but we're going to talk about looks. How important are looks when it comes to choosing a significant other?
Okay.
Josh, how do you feel?
Oh,
I'm putting the ball in your court. How important is it?
Extremely.
Okay. I thought maybe you were going to take that.
Listen, what I'm trying to say is, listen.
Keep it real.
What may be ugly to someone else may be beauty to someone else.
Okay.
So this is not casting judgment. This ain't saying, hey, who's ugly, who's not ugly. I just know that I have a type. You have a type. Everyone has a type. Because at the end of the day, you got to be with that person forever. And I'm not saying looks is everything, not even close to everything, BD, but it's a lot of things. But at the same time, you got to love deeper beyond the skin. Now, let me make this plain. I was being goofy at first. Looks matter, but they don't matter most.
Right.
They shouldn't matter first.
Okay.
Now, looks are going to attract you first. Don't get me wrong. Looks are going to bring you to someone first. But attraction has levels. There's the first glance attraction. There's the look attraction. There's the heart attraction, there's the mind attraction, there's the spiritual attraction, right? All four compartments, I think, are important. You have to be physically attracted to the person because physical attraction goes with sex, right? Physical attraction goes with, this is what I like in a person. I like the way this type of woman, or for ladies, this type of man look. But if you only rest in physical attraction, you're going to miss out on the other three attractions.
Right.
So if you're physically attracted with a person, you got to then begin to process, is this person, am I mentally attracted to him, emotionally attracted to him, and spiritually attracted to him? All of them are important. Some people will say, like our mamas was growing up, well, as long as she loved Jesus. Listen, man, mama, I feel you. I feel you. She loves Jesus, but I gotta love her too.
Okay.
I gotta look at her too. Oh. And that's why I'm getting married to the most beautiful woman in the world. But I waited.
Smart man.
Hey, God brought her. I can honestly say that I am attracted to her physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Only God has that package. A lot of people lose off of first glances. They lose because a person looks according to their standard, but don't think. Women, can you go to that man and learn something? Can you pull out of that man something strong mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? What's the point of a handsome man, but the man can't quote John 3:16? What's the point of a man who quote John 3:16 and he's 4'3" and that's just not your type? And it's okay to turn down people that's not your type. But as you mature in life, the woman or man that you want at 18 is going to be different than the man you want at 27, 28, 29, 30.
True. Yeah, so like you said, there's a lot of different types of attractions. You got spiritual, physical, mental, emotional. There's a lot of different types of attractions. I'll say this. I'm going to say physical is the least important.
Least important. I see what you're saying.
I'm going to say it's the least important. I'm not going to say it's not important, but I will say it's the least important. And the reason I say that is because, you can be as good looking as you want to be. I mean, the Bible says it itself, beauty is fleeting. I mean, it's going to fade over time. So you have to have those other layers there to sustain you after the beauty starts to fade away. And I mean, when you have those other attractions, when you have that spiritual connection with that person, when you have, you're attracted to their mind and how they think, and, y'all can have a stimulating conversation, even when, as they get older and their beauty does, start to fade or whatever, when you have those attractions, they'll still be looking dope to you.
The looks draw you to the relationship, but the internal things keep you in a relationship.
For sure. So, are looks important? They are. I mean, like you said, everybody has a type, and especially the younger you are, you know what I mean?
Man, y'all know what y'all want.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to want somebody who looks nice and things like that. But coming from someone who's been married, over time, and I can't even really speak to it because we're still young, but over time, like I said, the beauty and the looks are going to fade. So those other things are definitely more important, but I can't judge it.
See, the thing about the beautiful thing about growing with a person, looks may fade, but the love won't. You know what I'm saying? Because you you grew in love. Anybody who falls in anything gets hurt. So falling in love is worthless. You got to grow in love. Love is maturity. And when you are in love with God, God will have you look beyond the external faults of a person. He'll have you look beyond whether this person's whatever. Now, come on, man. We all know there's attraction in looks, right? That's what draws you to a person. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of beautiful people who do ugly things. And there's nothing worse than a beautiful person, attractive person with an ugly attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. And there's nothing, I mean, how many attractive women have you met throughout your years, BD, that was beautiful on the outside, but just an ugly person? And I'm pretty sure ladies out there in the Good Guys podcast world, I'm sure you met a man who was attractive, the fresh line, could cut your finger if you even get close to it. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Listen, listen, I had to let my line go. You know what I'm saying? I had to let it go. It was gold, PD. I used to work that line all the way to back here. And I said, if I got that line back there, time to let it go.
Pushing it back and back and back. Boy, you had to let it go.
I was fighting for that line, but when that line got so back here and this part looked super long, it's time to let it go.
You can't be looking like Stephen A. Smith, though. You got to let it go.
Nah, man. But what I'm trying to say is, man, it's wait on God. So God knows what you like. You know, and I always tell this story. I used to watch Jamie Foxx all the time when I was a kid, growing up in middle school, high school. And I was like, why do I like fancy so much?
Back in the 90s. Yeah, let me stop.
I was like, why do I like fancy so much? I was like, man, I said, you know what? I want a girl who looks like fancy.
Okay.
And throughout the years, women came and went. Nobody looked like fancy. Mm-hmm. But the woman I have now resembles fancy, but looks better than fancy.
Okay.
And it's crazy what you're drawn to, that you get confused throughout life, but it's almost like God already knows who he has for you, and he sets clues in your life on what he's going to latch you onto later. Mm-hmm. And when you wait on God, beautiful things happen. And that's why I'm telling people, like, you may think you know what you want right now. You may be so consumed with looks, and Instagram is the worst. People have mastered positions on Instagram. They've mastered how to, you think she thick. Bruh. She just got her hips on the counter just right.
Exactly.
You think she looks like, that's why I tell men, never compare your woman's worst day to another woman's best day. What happens is men go to work, husbands go to work, and everybody at work with attractive women, they always gonna look their best because they at work.
Right.
Then when you go home and see your wife, and your wife is going through different phases, you begin to compare her worst day to another woman's best day. You leave your woman because she's on having worst days to be with this woman with a best day. You in the bed with her and she have her worst day, and you confused.
Yeah, it is the same thing.
It's the same cycle.
I messed up.
It's the same cycle. You messed up, and now you miss your wife, and you like, man, they all like this?
Listen, man. Everybody is.
Everybody has an ugly side.
I don't care how bad he or she is. Okay.
They have an ugly side.
Look, I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. When you get married, okay, you wake up to them first thing in the morning, and they reach over and they say, "I love you," and you smell that first breath of the morning. Ooh. It's gonna be real. Okay. When they, she still got on, you know what I'm saying? The mushroom cap, whatever girls wear. I don't know what it's called. That's what I call it.
BD, be careful, BD.
Oh, my wife already know.
90% of our viewers are ladies, though.
It's not wrong with it. I already know what it is. I know what time it is. I mean, it is what it is. It comes with the territory. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You're going to see that person, you know what I mean, at their most vulnerable, time. So, and like you said, yeah, social media, Instagram, it's just the worst, man. Because all you're doing is looking at the best of, with the perfect angles, with the perfect filter. You know what I mean?
And you meet them for the first time, and they 4'11".
Exactly. They're like,
girl, you was tall enough. You was
Bonnet. Thank you, Jamaica.
Thank you, Jamaica. What's up, Jamaica? Thank you, Jamaica. Bonnet. Is it bonnet or bonnet?
It's definitely not bonnet. It's definitely not French.
But but BD, it's real, man. People are out here leaving their families for photoshopped, perfect. I mean, how long have people was wearing that? What's that filter they be having? You're like, girl, that ain't you. Stop hiding behind the filters.
Right.
That's why, man, let me tell you something, fellas. Listen to me close, man. You got to allow the Holy Spirit to renew your mind in this area. If you always are consumed about how beautiful a woman is, you're only going to hurt yourself into depths where most men haven't rebound from. If you don't have self-control if you can't use this head, but you lack self-control in the other area, then you're going to always find yourself in and out of relationships, hurting women after women, only to try to fill yourself up. That's why you got to say, you know what? Realistically, your woman's going to have some bad days. And bruh, you ugly too. I've already realized that. I was like, yo, I ain't the best out there. And that's cool.
The ability to self-assess.
You got to self-assess and be like, who am I to judge a woman? And ladies, on the third date, don't wear no makeup. Put on your bonnet.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see where y'all at.
If he can't handle the bonnet, then he can't get on it. I'm sorry, that was inappropriate.
Whoa, BD. show them the natural, not the superficial. Whoa, BD. BD about to ruin the podcast, bro.
Within the context of marriage.
That is true, man. Because from what men tell me, that sometimes the sex you have with your wife, she got the bonnet on.
A lot of times.
I think after the honeymoon phase, that's what I heard.
You getting that bonnet. You getting that bonnet.
You getting that, you ain't grabbing no hair. You grabbing that bonnet. You can take it or leave it. And she ain't even into it no more. Her fella, she just looking out for you, and she ain't even into it no more. You expect the ecstasy every night of your life for the next 40 years. She's a woman too. BD, man. Yeah, listen, bro, ladies, y'all gotta just be real, man, and just say, hey, no, you do you. But man,
I think it applies more than anything to the fellas, because I think we're more visual, more so. I mean, I'm not saying, of course, ladies, you know, they like what they like as well. But I know as men, like, definitely very visual. And I think we are, you know, the ones that are more prone to like someone strictly off of their physical appearance. And so
we've been conditioned that way. I mean, that's all we see everywhere. And then we have our beautiful women who are beautiful inside and out. Now society has gave us, this is the next beauty wave. It went, I mean, who was it? It was like the video vixens. Now it's the Kardashians. Now it's like, it's always this new changing imagery of what men find attractive. And then all these women are now dealing with, I mean, think about it. If you were Satan, if you were the enemy, wouldn't you do that? Have men's minds so warped into beauty, which is vain and fleeting, that it builds low self-esteem in women, and it's causing women to feel like they're not beautiful. But that's why I tell every woman, your position as daughter with God is the best position you're going to ever hold. Because when you know you're beautiful to him and you're everything in him, man, and you wait on God for you, that's going to be a man that will travel lands just for you. And fellas, listen, man, it ain't nothing wrong with liking what you like. You just got to make sure you have the right perspectives.
Right perspective. Beauty is like, it's like the difference between a car and a house, right? Beauty is a depreciating asset. It's an, you know, you drive off the lot in that nice fancy car, you feel like the man. But over time, really, as soon as you drive off the lot, the value of it starts to go down.
It drops.
All those other factors, you know, their mind, their spirituality, those things appreciate over time. Those aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like a house. The value of a house isn't going anywhere. Normally it goes up over time. So that's really the way to look at it.
That's real, BD. And I think there needs to be empathy in more relationships, more empathy. Because some people get married. I think I said this before. I don't know where I said it, but people get married, and day 3, you got the expectation of that person having 40 years of marriage. They've only been married for 3 days. That woman, you got the pressures of a woman. The woman's like, I only been a wife for 2 weeks, and you treat me like I should be a 40 years worth of wifehood. I think there needs to come a place where people have biblical, sound, common sense perspectives when it comes to saying, hey, you're not ready. And I think most people have false expectations. And then when they get beyond the place of their expectation, they're drastically upset.
Yep.
So you can't have false expectations going into a relationship. You gotta have biblical expectations. You gotta be able to go into a relationship and say, you know what, God, how am I supposed to think as a man now? You gotta be a husband before you be one. You gotta be a wife before you be one. God makes you into a husband and harboring husband traits and wife traits before you get married. Most people just get married and they trying to wing it. Nah, like, go into the Bible and find out, God, how am I supposed to be? How am I supposed to sacrifice for my wife? And ladies, how am I supposed to submit to a husband? The crazy, when women come to me talking about, Coach, man, he slaps me. He does this, Coach. What should I do? I'm like, you choose who you submit to. I don't have no empathy, sympathy for you. You choose who you submit to.
Well, if he's
But
slapping you, you should leave. I'm gonna say that first and foremost.
I know what I'm saying. If he's slapping, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get that big pot. Cook some grits. Get some grits in the pot.
Don't go Medea on him.
You gotta go Medea on him. Get some good grits today where they start them big lumps be boiling over. Then when that man come and swing, you taunt, now don't taunt him, but you at the stove and he's talking crazy at you and he swings at you, you put that hot grits on that man's face and you go in on him. I mean, this is not licensed advice, but
just leave. Leave.
Just leave. But what I'm trying to say is, man, there's a lot of good women and good men in relationships that's far below their value. You want somebody who's progressive. You want somebody who's progressing and becoming deeper spiritually. And that's a lot of spiritual cats who are emotionally, physically poor. Trust God, because you want someone that can lead you spiritually, be there for you emotionally, think on your level mentally, or inspire you to think high mentally. And that's physically attractive. And the same goes for fellas. You want a woman who can spiritually support you in prayer. Man, you don't want to be with no woman who can't pray for you. The dangerous place is to be in a house with a woman who can't pray for you. Mm-hmm. You come to her and she can't pray you through nothing. He can't pray you through nothing.
Dude, J.E.
Man, it's
real out there.
It's real out there, B.
Out there, J.E.
B, y'all say prayers for me. It's real out here, B. Listen, I'm out here, B. Hey, I'm doing a podcast in the streets, B.
Prayers going out to you, bro.
Hey, it's probably some old lady, man, who fell down the stairs, dog. And that's it.
All right. But yeah, man. Yeah, looks are important, but they're not the most important.
They're not the most important.
I mean, and especially you never know what life's gonna bring. I mean,
man,
I think a lot of
times,
this
real talk, B.
I think a lot of times. Yeah, you get women get pregnant and they carry babies, and look, their bodies don't always go back exactly where they were before. They might have blemishes and marks and stuff that never go away, and you can't, you know what I mean? Like, your wife is giving you kids and things like that. And you're like, oh, I'm still fit. I'm still in shape. Why are you not looking the same? Like, look, man, you got to have some grace and some understanding that, their bodies are different from ours. They go through different things that we have to go through. So if you can't still love your wife after she's blessed you with some kids just because you think her body doesn't look like she did when you married her, then you shouldn't be married.
You mentally, you shouldn't be married. You're right. You mentally messed up, man. Grace, fellas. Grace is where it's at. Love, man. Love till death do you part. Love until you don't know if she's gonna lose an arm. You don't know if she's gonna get burnt in the face. You don't know if he gonna get his leg amputated. You don't know what's gonna happen, and you gotta be there.
That's what marriage is, and that's what a lot of people don't want to think about that part of it. But that's the vows that you're taking when you talk about marriage. So that's why, again, yes, you want to be attracted to the person, but once you get attracted to them and you're attracted to all those other things, that's got to sustain you, because you don't know what life's going to bring. But those vows that you're taking it doesn't matter. You're still going to love that person. That's what true love is. Love is not the infatuation of seeing that person. Oh, I'm attracted to her. Oh, she looked nice. You know what I'm saying? Love is, after all of that fades away, when you're going through the trials and tribulations of life, making the decision that no matter what, I'm going to love this person. I'm going to pray for this person. BD. I'm going to serve this person. When I don't feel like it, when it doesn't feel good, when I don't even think I like her right now, I'm still going to love her. I'm still going to serve her. That's what love is.
That's how you grow, BD. My bad, you was choppy, man. I don't know when you start, but that's growth. It's doing it when you don't feel like it. That's the real test of love. It's doing it when you don't feel like it. It's saying, you know what, as me, the mindset I've taken as a man going into marriage is that I want to be the greatest servant in that home. I just want to serve. Just serve. We'll serve without expectation. Most people get into a relationship and say, well, I wash the dishes. You're supposed to throw it back. Mm-hmm. I cleaned up I wiped the floor. I did this. Man, you can't think like that. Ladies can't think like that either. We got to be able to say, my job is to serve you without expectation. So, I mean, imagine, and that works every single time. if you serve your wife with no expectation, try to act like you're gonna go to sleep that night. Just go to sleep, babe. Just kiss on the forehead and go to bed, and see what happened later on that night.
That's true.
OGs told me that. They just told me, hey, just serve, man. Don't ask for sex, just receive it. You can ask for sex. I'm just joking. Listen. Anyway, I'm just saying, BD, we gotta do better. If your right eye offend thee, cut it off. It's better to go to hell. It's better. Well, I forget the scripture. I forgot it. But if your eye offends you, whether it's pornography, whether it's poor perception of womanhood and manhood, cut that stuff off of your life. If it's certain TV shows that's screwing the way you see men or women, cut that stuff off. Because a lot of people are busting hell wide open, and their relationships have become hellish because they're allowing their eyes to lead them. When you see the way God wants you to see love and see relationships how God wants you to see them, man, you'll see the beauty of that person. It don't matter it don't matter what she goes through or what he goes through physically. You got a stronger spiritual bond with that person because you are in covenant.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much all there is to be said on that topic. Well, there's more that you could say, obviously.
Yeah, man, I could go deeper into that. BD can go deeper in that too. But, you just got to make sure they're spiritually sound. If a person not submitted to God, fellas, if a woman's not submitted to God, she ain't going to submit to you. If that man don't sacrifice for God, he won't sacrifice for you. If that person is not willing to listen to you through your emotional moments, that person's not ready. If that person is not mentally strong enough to encourage you, that person ain't ready. And if that person, listen, y'all, let's keep it 100. Do your best to stay the way that person met you. Do your best. In other words, don't let yourself go. Try your best to stay the way that person met you. Don't force your significant other into battles they don't want to fight. You let yourself go and somebody want to let go and let them.
That's true.
You got to make sure you say, you know what? Just because I'm married, okay, we can eat donuts all the time and I am no. Get in that gym.
Right. Now,
that man married the fit version of you.
Yeah.
Or the thick version of you. Some men, some ladies they like their person a little guy with extra, you know what I'm saying? They like them with a little extra something. That's cool. But listen, don't be over here letting yourself go and that person looking at you like you just gonna gain 30 pounds on me like that.
That's true too. That's a good point to make. Like, you know what I mean? We're not saying looks is the most important thing, but if you are an avid gym goer, like you are a fitness fanatic, and he meets you in the gym and y'all working out together, and then, don't get married and be like, all right, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sit on the couch, I'm gonna eat these ho-hos and these Twinkies, and I'm gonna just let myself go because I got them now. That's wrong.
Eat them ho-hos and see what kind of ho-hos come around him. Eat them ho-hos.
You talk about me. Okay.
Go ahead. Listen. I had to let them honey buns go, y'all. I'm not about to marry this beautiful woman and I'm gonna let myself go. I had to get rid of everything that caused my emotional eating. I had to get rid of it all.
Right.
That's not fair for her to fight frustrations. Nobody's supposed to be fighting frustrations that I've caused. And so if I'm over here, I gotta say, you know what? I'm gonna be the sexiest. What's that? Dwayne Wade's wife? What's her name? Gabrielle Union. She says she loves the way Dwayne Wade comes out the shower.
Okay.
So what she's saying is he kept his body right, and it just keeps her sexually attracted. There is a such thing as sexual attraction. You want your wife. You should be so sexy, fellas, that you late for work most days. You want to be so sexy for your man, ladies, that look, soon as you roll out of bed, you can't even get out of the bed. The man brings you back. You just want to make sure that, because the beautiful thing about the body, you can always mold it. You can always get better. You can always become more fit. But you got to say, hey, I'm not gonna force you to love me. I'm gonna make loving me easy. Woo, 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 tweet that. Tweet that. You know that's powerful, BD. Give me some on that beat. Give me love for that beat.
Nah,
I
yeah.
don't want you to. Nah, BD. I don't want you to have to force yourself to love me. I want loving me to be easy. Woo.
I hear
Ooh.
you. Hey.
I had to put my arm on the armrest, BD, on that
Oh my gosh, this guy. No, I agree. I mean, I take my fitness very seriously, and I try to keep myself, attractive for my wife, and vice versa. But I mean, it's balanced everything.
It's about
You
now.
gotta be
If that person is going through a season, be patient. She just had a baby. Be patient. You know what
right.
I'm saying? There's a lost in his family. Be patient. He's a human. He's not superhuman. He's human. You got to understand that, and she's human. They're going to go through phases, but you're supposed to help them rebound.
Right.
You supposed to be able to say, hey man, I know you tired, babe. I'm gonna go drop 40 points tonight. I'm gonna take the load today. I'm gonna take the load in this season. And then you inspire that person by getting in the gym. You know what's a trick? Go in the gym and see who follows you. Ain't no woman, ain't no man's gonna let they girl and they man go to the gym,
I know
and
that's
they
right.
ain't gonna go either.
I know that's right. Yep. Yeah, like you said, there might be seasons where loss of a loved one, or whatever the case may be, where you might cut back a little bit. You don't want to be in the gym knocking them out, with the six pack and everything like that. And your wife really needs you to kind of be more next to her and supporting her and helping her get through the
That's it.
situation.
Balance.
Right. So, during that season, you might pull back or whatever. It's all about life ebbs and flows. You have highs and you have seasons. So you just kind of have to know your mate and know what they need in that given season. So,
And let me tell you this, that's why it's important to have the Holy Spirit in your relationship.
hmm
Because he'll lead and guide you into all truth. He'll
exactly.
tell you when to pull back and when to gas up and go forward. You got to find that rhythm. And that's why I told anyone who asked me, they're like, Coach, you ready for marriage? I'm like, look, man, I'm ready as I can be. I'm not going to take marriage 1 year at a time. I'm going to take marriage one day, one moment at a time. If I'm present in every moment, then the marriage should fulfill itself. But if I'm out here lost mentally and not communicating and not doing all this stuff and being selfish, that's when stuff start messing up. And I'm not talking like an expert. I'm not talking like I know it all. I just know if I'm present in the moment and if I endeavor to serve and if she is gracious and empathetic with me, we should be all right. Will there be arguments? Yeah, but it should be no arguments over infidelity. It should be no arguments over finances. It should be no arguments about selfishness. Arguments over irritability and emotional whatever, that's natural. We're humans. But we ain't gonna be no other arguments based upon lack of self-control and selfishness.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. We're going to keep it moving and get to the next topic of the day. But definitely cop in the comments. Some of you have been commenting on the live feed. If you're watching on YouTube, watching on SoundCloud, definitely comment on your thoughts on the topic. We'd love to hear you guys' feedback. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is the issue of, or the topic of athletes and activism. As I'm sure you are aware, LeBron James and a lot of other athletes have been in the media recently for various number of reasons. LeBron, he's got the I Promise School um, and many other philanthropic endeavors that he um, has pursued and brought to the light. Athletes have, protested against Donald Trump or whatever the social injustices, that are going on in our country, that they feel are going on in our country. So, my question and what I want to talk about is, should athletes be activists? You have some people that feel like, they should just dribble or play whatever sport it is that they're playing, that they're paid to do. Um, and not necessarily have such a prominent voice in the conversation when it comes to things like politics, when it comes to things like social activism and things like that. How do you feel? Do you think athletes should speak out on topics outside of you know, their area of profession, their sport, or do you think that they should use that platform to bring the light to certain issues? How do you feel?
Yeah, I think anybody who have a passion for anything um, should knowledgeably should through wisdom speak their opinions. You know, I think athletes shouldn't shut up and dribble. There should be a balance though on both sides. I think when it comes to activism, we always got to make sure as believers that we don't get sucked into the political seesaw of the era. We got to make sure that we do what Jesus would do. When the Pharisees came to Jesus and was talking about what should we do with what talking about taxes and whatnot, and he says, "Render unto Caesar what is to Caesar." When you look at Jesus, Jesus never spoke negatively of authority. The only time that he spoke negatively was against the Pharisees, but he never talked bad about Caesar. He never talked bad. You never really saw it. I think what's going on, I think there should be a balance when it comes to activism. I think there should be more. I wouldn't even get consumed with the name calling or whatever. But when it comes to athletes, I think athletes should stand, kneel, or protest, but they also have to be mindful of the cost. Activism comes with the cost. I think anytime you do anything that's against the common flow, you're going to suffer consequences. I think a lot of people protest not knowing there's consequences, speak out not knowing that there's consequences, or there's people who is too quiet because of consequences. I think if you speak on behalf of injustice, spiritually deep rooted in the things of God, and you do it in a biblical way, I think you will be taken care of if you step out. Now, there's a lot of people in the Bible who stepped out and they got killed. But there's a lot of people like Daniel who stood out, Shadrach and Meshach who stood out. And when they stood out, God was there for them.
Right.
A lot of people do speak out and get their heads cut off like John the Baptist. So there's always a wisdom to it. There's always a biblical perspective that you have to have in showing honor to a position, honor or respect to the other side, and being able to delegate, not delicate, but in order to navigate delicately through topics. Jesus navigated things so delicately that he always posed a question. It was always self-reflective. It wasn't attacking. It was standing on behalf. What he did with the woman that was caught in act of adultery. When the woman was thrown at his feet, he knelt down and wrote in the sand. He took some time to think. You know what I'm saying? He took some time to process.
Right.
And when he stood up, he says, "He without sin cast the first stone." When you hit him with that, justice happened, even though by law, because Jesus didn't die for grace to be brought in. By law, she was supposed to be stoned. But by him being the judge of all judges, he was able to be gracious while at the same time pressing the envelope in regards to how everybody else feels. So when people come to me about politics or Josh, are you an activist? I'm not an activist. I'm just a person that's bringing justice, gracious justice, or bringing the kingdom of God in an area. I think so many people are activists because it's cool now, versus really having a soul deep love for a people group, but not allowing that love to lure you into situations where you may be losing things that you didn't even necessarily wanted to lose in the first place. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. There's a balance, and it can go either way. But
For real.
I think if you are an athlete, I guess just coming from it from a Christian perspective, if you are an athlete, I think that you should definitely. I feel like you have a certain responsibility to not just speak on
Yeah.
things, because just because you're an athlete doesn't mean I just need to speak on things. You need to know what's going on, okay? Be well read and well knowledgeable about whatever it is that you're going to speak on. That's number one. I think number one is I think that you should spend time in prayer.
Yeah.
Right? Spend time in prayer, be led by the Spirit on how to come at, the topic that you're passionate about. And then you need to be knowledgeable about the topic, that you want to bring light to. Okay.
And you have to make sure you're not enraged. You got to make sure your emotions are stable.
Exactly.
When I meet racist people, BD, when racism happens to me, I laugh on the inside.
Right.
Because racism is a form of insecurity.
Right.
Classism is a form of insecurity. You hate me because you're insecure. So why am I going to stoop down to your insecurity when obviously you think the most of me?
Right, right. And it's definitely, you know, I mean, and it's serious. Even though you're laughing, that just comes in your security and in who you are in Christ. But I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's an important issue, you
Yeah.
know, when things like that happen, when racism, you know, is still alive and a light needs to be brought to it. But at the same time, like I said, you know, spend time in prayer, because like the examples that you brought up, and look in the Bible at how Jesus handled situations. It wasn't, you know, just name calling and, you know,
Or
just
hostile, yeah.
right. It was, he would hit them with, like, you pose a question, or he would give a parable that would just give people things to think about, some nuggets to chew on that would make people think and bring light to the situation. So there's ways for you to speak out on things and bring light to certain things that are happening in society that you're passionate about. It's just certain ways to come at it.
Yeah.
You do have to be tactful. You do have to, you know, I hear I mean, you know, okay, so people will say, you know, it's not a protest unless, you know, you do it a certain way because you have to make people feel uncomfortable. And it's like I kind of understand that logic, but I just think there's a medium there. Like you do there. I mean, it does have to be done during a time maybe that, you know, somebody is focused on something else to where it makes them uncomfortable. But there has to be tact about it. Is all I'll
Has
say.
to be tact. And I think even when it comes to NFL protesting, I think, you know, first off you have to understand that you do work for somebody, right? Um, it's crazy that I heard someone say, what they're doing is as if they're clocking in. You go to work, you clock in, and then you protest. So you getting paid at the same time. But at the same time, let's look at the flip side of it. You definitely, I'm trying to navigate this in a wise way because people will take sound bites. They'll take sound bites and then mess you up.
Right.
We just got to make sure that we don't do it the way the world does it, but we do it biblically.
Right.
This whole NFL protest has brought up clarity for me on both sides. People don't understand that the NFL is a business, right? Number one. Secondly, who is buying the tickets? It's a class of people, not a class, it's a group of people who think police officers are amazing. Their uncle's a police officer, their sons are police officers. People have been in the army and all that stuff. And so if people go into the situation knowledgeable and they're like, you know what, I understand how this could offend the others, there's where grace comes in. Say, okay, well, let me see if I can find another avenue, or let me see how we can find a common ground in a conversation of how do I solve my problem without at the same time offending, if that makes sense. Now, there's going to be some things you're going to do that's going to offend people, but at the same time, once you become knowledgeable, I think your activism change. The spawn of all these incidents spawned into even riots in Charlotte. We had a podcast called Charlotte, Charlit, and it's crazy how we got to be careful that we do not. Let me get biblical with it. We got to make sure we understand that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, that we wrestle against spirit principalities and evil powers. When we understand that, then we would get into a place where we say, you know what? Let me make sure I address the principality behind the agenda, if that makes sense. Can you hear me, Brandon?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just lost connection real quick.
Okay, we could restart it and we just connect them, right?
Yeah. Hold on, let me start it back up here.
But either way, man, we just got to be wise in how we handle things. Okay. And just really just navigate biblically. And I love the way, that's why I tell people read a proverb a day, read a gospel a month, and keep it in rotation. Because when you see how Jesus handled situations, it'll show you how to handle situations in today.
Yep. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think really going to God in prayer and seeking, I think God will show you like a really, like God can really show you like a good way to come at, the situation. Like even with the protests and things like that. Because I understand I'm sensitive to both sides because
I'm sensitive to both sides too.
I'm in the military. So I understand
Yeah.
the people that are legitimately mad when, they don't stand for the national anthem. I don't really take it that way myself per se, but at the same time, you know, it, to be honest, like in the military, I kind of have like a cushy job. Like I'm behind the desk. I'm not out there, doing some of the things that those guys are doing, like seeing what those guys see. I hear the stories they tell me of what they
Yeah.
see. So I understand how you could be offended by something like that. But like, and I understand that for a protest to have impact, like I said before, it might have to make some people uncomfortable. Are there other avenues that you can make people? I mean, when you're an athlete, you have a platform, like you can be heard. So if you speak out on something, or if hey, your whole team goes downtown in the middle of downtown and, you know what I mean, holds up signs and like, you know what I mean, you can draw attention to it. So there's just different ways to
I,
do it. And
I just say make sure anytime you do anything in this world, make sure that God told you.
right.
Because you don't want to step out on a limb and God never told you to do it. John the Baptist got his head cut off. If we talk about the same John the Baptist that baptized Jesus, stepped out of line and got his head cut off. Jesus had plenty of times to step out of line, but he didn't. There was times where he pushed the envelope, but he just pushed it just enough where he could move. I read scriptures that's like Jesus floated through the crowd. Not really, but it was like Jesus like navigate. They was trying to stone him and push him, but he navigated out the way. There's ways to handle situations, and I think when it comes to people's emotions towards the president and the president's reaction towards people, I think we all have to make sure we know we're all humans at the end of the day, that we have to make sure that we as believers we don't become so pro whatever, pro black and pro Trump or pro red, pro blue, that we forget about we're pro blood. And I think, well, not the blood, not the Bloods and Crips. Make sure I could, but it's the blood of Christ. Make sure that we are first initiated into a kingdom, that we're on behalf of God's kingdom more than we are behind any political avenue. And I think when we have a biblical worldview in politics, a biblical worldview in athletics, a biblical worldview in any area, chances are the Holy Spirit will always have the right game plan on how to navigate a situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, ultimately, I think athletes, they do have a voice, they do have a platform. I do think you should definitely use that platform. I'm not saying, I mean, I guess I can't say it's a requirement. Technically, you should just have to do your job. But with great power comes great responsibility. If you have that platform, especially if you're a believer, I feel like you should do your best to be knowledgeable about what's going on, pray about
Be
it,
knowledgeable.
seek God, and use your platform and try to impact some change.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to make sure, like BD said, you come in prayerful. Like Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, it wasn't about what political side it was on. It was about their allegiance to God. So that's a difference between why Daniel knelt and prayed against the kingdom. It was a difference between what Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did as far as standing against uh, 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 the policies of that day, because it was against who they was as believers in God. They was actually telling them that you were supposed to worship these idols. With the Holy Spirit in this new era, he'll lead and guide you into all truth on how to navigate every situation. But every athlete has to make sure they're knowledgeable, man. Because when you are unknowledgeable in an area where somebody else is more knowledgeable, they will cut you to slithereens.
Right. That's what you don't do. Don't speak out on it if you not think just because you're an athlete that gives you the right to just speak out and put your opinions on other people. Like, look, know what you're talking about and then speak out.
No, know when to keep your 2 cents.
Right, right. If it's
Know
just two
when
cents, just
to
hold
put
on
your
to that.
just hold on to that
Just
two
hold on
cents,
to that.
bro. Oh, put that in your pocket, bro. So
Yeah, put that back in your pocket. You good?
Cause they gonna snatch your 2 cents and mess you up.
Right.
let's go ahead and speed past this topic, bro. It's getting uncomfortable. Just joking. Just joking.
All right. So the next
I'm
topic
messing.
we're
I'm
going
not
to talk about,
uncomfortable.
kind of piggybacking off of that topic, we're going to talk about our top 5. It's the weekly 5 guys. Our top 5 most influential sports figures to us. This is kind of to us. This is not like an all-time, you know, excuse me, ranking. Muhammad Ali would probably top that list. I don't even know if he's on mine because, yes, he is.
Nah, he's not on mine.
He is on mine actually. But these are just us, the athletes that inspire us more than anything. So we're gonna give our top 5. Josh, you can go ahead and start.
Top 5.
Top 5.
I don't know. I don't think I ranked my list, but I would say influential to me.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5 on my list is Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay. So we're talking in terms of game, style of play.
Style of play, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, style of play. There's some people that inspired my style of play.
Okay.
But there's other people that I actually, I'm missing my pen. Hakeem Olajuwon, bro. He the one that taught me to shimmy.
The Dream Shake.
I got the Dream Shake bag, BD.
You got the package, the post package on 2K.
I got the post package on. Listen, bro, it's in me. If you want the download of the post package, come see me. I'll train you. My footwork back in the day was impeccable because I studied Hakeem Olajuwon, the Hakeem Shake, the Dream, all that stuff, bro.
Also, because you took ballet. Just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, I took ballet, and I'm not ashamed. You thought you was gonna get me with that. Yeah, I took ballet. That's why my feet was amazed. I took ballet, tap, and dance. Come see me. Yeah, I was doing all that, bro.
The plies and all that.
Plies, bro. They was trying to have me in shows. I said I can't do no shows.
Nah, I can't do this shit.
I ain't wearing no tights. Bro. I ain't wearing no tights out there holding a girl out there in front of all these folks.
Got you.
Man, nah, but I wasn't. My footwork, man. My footwork's impeccable. Hakeem Olajuwon taught me so much about life, and ever since I've learned the lessons from Hakeem Olajuwon, I'm having people changing light bulbs every time I play.
Okay. All right. Number 5 for me. Cam Newton.
Huh?
Cam Newton. It's number 5 for me.
I feel you. What you talking about, the romper Cam? Or you talking about the Auburn Cam?
Not romper Cam. Definitely not romper Cam.
Romper Cam.
No. Hey.
You talking about Auburn Cam.
Not just the whole, like, the thing I admire about Cam is that Cam is going to be himself, like, no matter what.
That's real.
So, like, as a quarterback, a lot of times people have certain characteristics that they want to see in a quarterback. You know, they want them to be, you know, the rah-rah, the leader of the team, you know, the more kind of like the business, you know, approach when it comes to, like, football players, whereas different other positions, they don't necessarily hold to that standard. And Cam doesn't really, like, he doesn't really hold to that. Like, he, you know, he's out there dabbing. Yeah. He's dancing, you know what I'm saying? He's laughing with the kids, throwing the football to the kids. Like,
I like Cam's personality, I think.
Right. Like, that's kind of what, you know, where I'm coming from with, you know, with the Cam Newton. I like that he is unapologetically himself. And, hey, Cam real, man. Yo, you heard
Kevin Benjamin?
Yeah. He was talking all that good stuff.
I saw the clip, yeah.
You saw the clip where Cam walked right up to him?
Walked up to him, yeah.
Bro,
that was cool.
I was like, he made the list right there. I watched that like 30 minutes before the podcast. And I was like, yo, that's the realest thing I've seen in the year 2018. Like,
nah, Cam, remember you saw that clip of Cam, some kid was talking junk to him, and he turned around, looked at that kid in the face and said, do something or something like that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh man, this kid was talking junk, and Cam turned around and said, do something. The kid got scared.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Cam is number 4. Cam is number 4 on my list, bro. Cam, when I saw that, man, I was like, bro, he walked up on me.
Bruh, like he was talking all that smack. Cam walked right up to him. it was even Thomas Davis was even there, like, you know, Kiki and
And he
whatever.
shooed him
He was
off.
like, no,
He
let me
shooed him
talk to him for a
off.
second. Like, he was like, what's up?
No. He shooed him off.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
shooed. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I was like, hey, Cam a real one for that.
Hey, Cam number 4, man. Number 5. Hakeem Olajuwon number 4.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't even say Cam influence. I just like Cam, so I'll say Cam's an honorable mention.
Okay.
My number 4 is Bo Jackson.
Okay.
Man, after that 30 for 30, and when I really learned about Bo Jackson,
yeah,
Bo Jackson's trill, bruh.
He was a beast.
He was a beast, man. And he just inspired me as far as like even how he is now, just strong, bruh.
Okay. Respect.
Bo Jackson, bro.
Bo Jackson. All right. Number 4 for me. Serena Williams. All right, hear me out. There's nothing that I love more than the fact that Serena Williams and her sister Venus, for that matter, took over a sport that we not supposed to play.
Okay.
Tennis.
I thought this was your list that influenced you. That's why I was like, Serena Williams influenced you.
I mean, not necessarily well, kind of. Like, you know me. Like, I like to break down barriers of what, you know, people always used to call me an Oreo back in the day. So I like breaking down barriers, and Serena did. They weren't like that's like, you know, country club sport. Like, we're not supposed to have access to that. Her and Venus from Compton roll up in their, you know what I'm saying, in their sport and took over. And they not only took over, not for a brief period of time, not for a year or two, flash in the pan. Like, they've been dominating for like over a decade. You're not even supposed to play tennis that long. She's like in her 30s. She's had kids, and she's still going out there beating them down. So for that, I've got Serena on my list. Number 4.
All right, cool. No, not. I thought she inspired you personally. I didn't know if you got her skirts in the closet or something.
See,
you be practicing.
You're not
anyway,
right.
Number 3.
You're not right.
Number 3 on my list. Number 3 on my list. Steph Curry. While Brandon is going, I'm gonna let you know why Steph Curry has inspired me. Brandon's just mad because he didn't get to play in the game when Steph Curry hit that game winner on us. That's the reason why he's upset. We played Steph Curry back in the day when he was in 9th grade. Nah, man, Steph Curry, man.
I still haven't forgiven him for that. He can't be on my list for that simple reason. That he fell into the first row of the bleachers.
Oh man, and he ran around our court too.
Ran around the court. I was like,
and his mom was there. That's probably why. Anyway.
Don't.
That's probably why nobody closed. That's why nobody closed out.
Stay engaged. Stay engaged.
No. None but respect. None but respect. None but respect. Hey, Dell Curry's on my list, bro.
You're not getting me in trouble.
Dell Curry inspired me to know how to pick him. Dell Curry looked at longevity. He said, Dell Curry, bro, he is relevant, dog.
He is relevant to
this day.
Not for
you mean to tell me every time in the playoffs? I remember when Steph Curry's mom came into the Wild one time. Anyway, let me go through my list. No, I'm gonna tell the story because I started.
You won't get me.
She walked in and I was like, man, you're a real nice lady. Mm-hmm. Very nice person. Mm-hmm. That ring was big on that finger, bro.
I bet.
I said Dale the man.
Smart man.
Steph Curry, man. Just a good business person, man. Good ball player. Survived adversity. Ankles was messed up. He don't back down to nobody. And for about good 6 months, man, he was running the league. He's running the league now, but I just think the way he leads, man, the way he allowed Kevin Durant to come on the team, no ego. He's the core reason for their success.
Kenny, you
And
silly.
I just like, huh?
Kenny is a fool, man.
What Kenny say? Dang, Kenny still,
Kenny
we all,
single.
everybody,
Hey, Kenny can
Kenny
still
like,
say that
Kenny like,
stuff.
Kenny like, man, I'm mingling on this chat, bro. He said, listen, I speak my mind. I don't
Right.
got no loss.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
BD, I'm gonna let you have that one. I mean, not BD. Kenny, you can have that. But Steph Curry, man, I just like the way he carry himself, how he leads his team. Um, I mean, the way Nike did him, and that man turned around, and now he has $1 billion deal with Under Armour, more than $1 billion. How do you disrespect the man by not having the right slideshow up? And this man comes around, goes to Under Armour, and sells more shoes than LeBron.
Man, whoever made that mistake not only lost their job,
Oh,
but
they're
they
not.
will never work in the industry again.
They will never work in the industry again. And the way he didn't give up, people will say, well, Steph Curry got privilege. I just think he got a bite, man. I think he just know how to say, you know, I'm gonna go get it. A lot of people think just because you was privileged as a young child, that the adversity that person goes through doesn't shape who they are. So Steph Curry's number 3 on my list.
No.
Kenny said, I'll speak for you. Appreciate you, bro. He said he'll speak for you.
Speak for those without a voice, Kenny.
And I mean, listen, man, he loves his wife. Steph Curry can't cheat, bro. If Steph Curry cheats, bro, he can't. You know why he can't cheat? Aisha has her own enterprise, bro.
She's a business.
She's a business. She's not even a businesswoman. She's a business.
She's a business.
And so she gonna be like, I'm gonna take half of yours, and I'm still gonna be all right.
You don't want to mess.
Try me.
You don't want to mess up that bag.
Nah, you don't want to mess up that.
Mess
There's
up
not a
that
woman
bag.
on this earth who's gonna be like. That's like what's it, Jessica Simpson? Like a lot of these ladies who went through breakups and got stupid rich.
Okay.
I think Aisha is what made him great.
For that, I will accept your putting of Steph Curry on the list because the example that he sets with Aisha and the family and everything like that, I have to respect that.
Yeah, I respect the whole. I don't know the man personally. I just respect how he handles his.
Okay. Number 3 for me. I've got Kevin Durant.
Okay.
I got Kevin Durant. First of all, he's nice. So, his game is kind of what I can't say my game is like Kevin Durant. Like that's just like you can't even say that, but he's like my favorite player aesthetically to watch.
I see.
Okay. I also like, he's a budding business mogul. He's definitely very heavily involved in the investing world and things of that nature. I also like, I like a lot of people pick on Kevin Durant and say, oh, he's too sensitive. Oh, he responds, to fans on Twitter and social media and things like that. But I mean, I think it's refreshing. I think,
I think so too.
An athlete that doesn't just, oh, I'm high and mighty. I'm an athlete. I don't have time to respond to you, peasants. Like no matter who it is, hey, he cares.
That 17-year-old, he came in that DM of that 17-year-old.
Right. And I'm like, people pick on him, but I mean, it's cool, man. Like,
man, to piggyback on that, man, it's one thing to be sensitive and then you suck on the court.
Exactly.
But if you sensitive and you back it up on that court,
exactly. That's why it's okay.
It balances it out.
Right. If he was sensitive and then he come out and he play like boo boo because that's affecting his game, then no, like you're whack for that. But I mean, it's all in fun. But he responds to stuff and he still comes out and hang 40 on you easy. So I don't know. I just like Kevin Durant. I
like him too, man. I'm gonna put him on my list too, man.
Okay.
I like KD, but you heard about him might be going to New York, right?
New York? He's not going to New York. That would be, oh my gosh, him and Porzingis.
Him and Kyrie and Porzingis.
That would be a problem. How do you defend that?
I think Chris Broussard said he heard through the grapevine.
That would be. Whew, I hope that.
Man, KD, Kyrie, Porzingis.
How do you defend that? Just KD and Porzingis alone, like, is matchup nightmares.
Jimmy Butler.
Okay, everybody just going to New York.
Just joking. Nah.
All right.
I mean, New York better. Okay, my number 2, the GOAT himself, Michael Jordan.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
He's number 2 on my list because I too am a GOAT. GOATs connect.
Okay.
You know what? There's gonna come a day where you're gonna come visit me, and the world's gonna be like, that Coach Josh, he's the GOAT in this arena of influence. He's the GOAT of this era. And you're gonna be like, Coach Josh, you ain't gonna call me Josh. You ain't gonna call me J.E. You gonna be like, Coach Josh.
I will not.
Right. Hey, man, you just gotta GOATs recognize GOATs, man. Michael Jordan, man, is a competitor, bro. Inspired my competitive nature, man. Like, no matter the slack that Michael Jordan goes through or gets himself into, just the competitiveness and just the way he approaches his craft is how I approach my craft.
Okay.
You don't make it 10 years in anything if you're not a dog about yours. If you're not a GOAT about yours. October 30th will be 10 years of me doing what I'm doing. Have I had a bunch of successes? Have I had a bunch of failures? You better believe it.
Okay.
But I like the way he approached his craft, and that's how I approach mine. Not trying to be the GOAT, but the way nobody can outwork me. And that's what I get from Michael Jordan. He doesn't get outworked, nor will I get outworked. And that's just my mindset. You may have more followers, you may be more successful, but you won't outwork me.
Okay. I respect. Yeah.
And that's why
I feel like I should have put Jordan on there. I think I was in a bad mood with Jordan with his recent, non-speaking up about that whack support of
Republicans buy
LeBron
Jordans
James.
too.
That whack support.
Republicans buy.
I support LJ.
I bet you. I bet you if it's Kobe, he would have went deeper.
Exactly. That's why.
Why am I gonna go? Why am I gonna go hard for someone that everybody's trying to say that he's a GOAT? I'm not even gonna say it's for the competitor in Jordan came out. He was like, "Dang, bro, God, Trump." He texted Trump and was like, "Jordan was like, bro, for real. Now I gotta call him LJ. I can't even call him LeBron James. I'm gonna call him LJ.
LJ. When have you ever in your life heard anybody refer to LeBron James as LJ?
Don't judge Jordan off of his competitiveness. You know good and well his pent office on his jet, smoking a cigar. He is tired of hearing everyone talk about LeBron's the GOAT, and he knows good and well LeBron ain't the GOAT. Of course, I'm going to be like, I support LJ. Because I'm going to let LeBron know. I'm going to let LeBron know.
I hear what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I support what you're doing. But you're still not better than me. You're not better than me.
That's what I got from it. That's what I got. I said, hey, Jordan, if it was Kobe, he would have went back for Kobe.
Right.
But LeBron James,
I think he's doing amazing things.
He texts Trump and was like, I got a thing of Jordan's coming your way. But, bro, why'd you put I like Mike?
Now you know. People ain't feeling you right now.
Now you know nobody feeling you right now. And you know I don't really feel LeBron like that.
You're putting me in an awkward situation, Donald.
So he went to his staff. It's like, how should I approach this? And I can see a 22-year-old, fresh out of college, new hire was like, just call him LJ.
That's what I'll do. People don't know for
That's
sure.
What man, that person got a big truck of Jordans to their house the next day. Exclusives.
Support LJ.
Man, listen. Bro, come on. A person that's like you really celebrating me.
I celebrate everything you do.
No, that's like really you have to give a speech, and I Jordan is celebrating me, LeBron is celebrating me, KD celebrating me.
The only reason I wouldn't be able to do it is because I know you would be sitting right there in the front row with that face right there. I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. That's the only reason I couldn't do it, because I know you.
Hey, bro, man, it was y'all, man. All of y'all sacrificed me back in high school, bro.
If you haven't heard that story, Please go back to the second season of
I
the
don't
Good Guys
know. I don't know
podcast.
what episode that was in, but
It was
I
bad
felt like
cooking,
it was.
bad cooking and a betrayal. It's a great story. You should
Yeah, man, it's a great story. I'm not gonna waste y'all time with that.
No, we're not gonna go back to it now. All
So
right,
Michael Jordan, bro.
fair
Who's
enough.
your number two?
My number two is Muhammad Ali. I'm taking it back. I cannot have a list of most influential athletes without putting Muhammad Ali on there. Not only for his political stance, despite his career being in jeopardy and actually was put on hold for several years because he refused to fight in the military, but just his swag as a whole, though. Like, have you heard,
Yeah, he didn't.
like,
Muhammad Ali has swag,
the
bro.
junk that Muhammad Ali used to talk? I'm talking
In the
about
interviews, yeah.
yes, in the interviews, like his confidence was off the charts. Like he would tell, the guy what round he's gonna knock him out in rhyme while doing so. Like Muhammad Ali, just as a personality, his charisma, like everything was just like it was amazing to me whenever I watched like the documentaries on Muhammad Ali. It's like, man, like I can't even imagine somebody having that kind of charisma in today's society. It's like hard to believe, but yeah. And then he was actually great at what he did. So
Yeah.
that's always like the ultimate like goal for me is like to be great at what I do, and then to have the confidence and charisma to tell you about it. Like I wish I could be that guy.
Unfortunately, I can't do it as a preacher, but sometimes I be wanting to be. Man, God has to hold me back so many times, and it sucks because I have no fruit to show that I'm the. I don't have a stadium full of thousands of people. I don't have multiple campuses. I don't travel in the jets and stuff. But sometimes I want to be like, but I can't.
You'll get there.
It's only by grace. I'll get there.
There you go.
But I can't. Even when I get there, I still got to be humble.
That's true.
I wish. Well, I'm glad to be a preacher. Let me just keep it at that.
Mm-hmm.
But I really wish I could really. And okay, my number one. The most influential athlete to me.
I'm sure we both have the same number one.
Pistol Pete Maravich. You set yourself up on that one, BD. I'm sure. So do we have the same one, Brandon?
Absolutely not. I knew we weren't going to have the same one.
Pistol Pete Maravich, man.
But go ahead.
I don't know who your number one is.
Yeah.
Oh, LeBron. Man, get out of here. Pistol Pete Maravich is my number one favorite player of all time in all sports.
He's also your
if you haven't
influential.
Huh?
He's your most influential.
Yeah.
Okay, because of the movie.
That's because of the movie. Yeah.
Got you.
There was a time in my life where I could have been a choir boy or a hooper.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God
obviously.
my mom got that VHS. I'm so glad my mom got that VHS.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you became a choir boy because.
No. I used to sing. What's that song from Oh Happy Day? It was pre-puberty, so I hit the note. So people was recruiting. My mom said, "Nah, man, I'm gonna give him a Spalding."
Thank God for your mother because you're singing.
Thank God for my mom, man.
Some of the worst I've ever heard.
I'm glad. Y'all better be glad I'm not a singing preacher. Boy, I'll preach 4 hours, bro. If I was a singing preacher. Anyway, Pistol Pete Maravich, man, that movie was amazing. I mean, I practiced the drills all the time. I fell in love with basketball. So basketball is a part of my life now. Like, I don't know what I'll be doing right now if there was no basketball. I mean, of course, Jesus. But I'm saying as far as a man,
right?
What would I be doing? Would I be watching WWF? WWE? Like, imagine your life without basketball.
Cage match rock.
WrestleMania 2000 and like, bruh, I'm so glad no knock to people who watch WrestleMania. So I'm just saying, like, I don't know no other thing I'll be into.
Okay.
So Pistol Pete Maravich, bro.
I feel he didn't make my list, but that movie was the truth. Like
that movie was a great movie, man.
Man, yeah. Okay. My number one, and the only real number one that can possibly be LeBron James.
Man, that ain't LeBron James school, bro. That ain't LeBron James school, man.
Yes, it is his school. He put the
He
money
said
up.
school. How much money he put up?
I don't know.
$2 million. You know where the other $8 million come from?
Grants, sponsors.
Taxpayers.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
$2 million comes from LeBron. Other $8 million come from taxpayers.
I have to do research on
He
it.
paid.
I don't trust you.
No, do research. And when you look at the list, think about what's on that. There's no hate, but think about what's on that paper. Free tuition.
Mm-hmm.
All public schools are free tuition.
I mean, but it's a private school, though.
No, it's not a private school. It's a public school.
Is it?
LeBron James opened a public school, free tuition. Every public school has free tuition, free lunch, free breakfast, free lunch, free snack. I work at a public school. I looked at that list. I said, "Hold up."
Don't do that. Don't do
I
it.
said, LeBron James opened up a public school with free tuition, free food and snack, free travel within 2 miles. Every kid rides the bus for free, Brandon. All of y'all was hype. And when I found out LeBron James puts up $2 million, now think about it. He gives free tuition to every kid as far as college.
Exactly.
To Akron University.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's free school.
A kid go to public school. How many kids are going to graduate? Just joking. What I'm trying to say though, all the other stuff like free tuition, free clothes, and $8 million a year has to be paid through the taxpayers in Ohio.
All right, I'll have to do research on that. But it doesn't matter, okay? You're getting away from my number one.
If he would have created a private school,
athlete.
I would have been like LeBron. But when I thought about it, I said free tuition at a public school.
Your hate knows no bounds.
There's not hate. It's just truth.
The truth is, okay, that LeBron James is a sterling picture, okay, of what it looks like to be a loving husband, a devoted father, a master of one's craft.
Loving husband.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Nah, I ain't gonna knock LeBron. I don't know the man personally. I just know you cannot be the greatest basketball player in this era and be faithful.
LeBron James can. He can. And he does. Okay? He's got his wife with him everywhere. He goes to the basketball games, his wife's there. The kids' games, wife is there. Vacations, wife is there. All right?
So on the third back-to-back in Miami.
Don't do that.
Third back-to-back in Indiana. Is she there?
There you go.
Is she there?
Is
she there on those?
The same could be said of Steph Curry. Same could be said of Steph Curry.
That's real. That's what I'm saying. If I'm just joking with LeBron. Hey, bro, his wife is happy, but she might pull a Kevin Garnett's wife move though.
What's that?
Wait till they basketball season is over and then divorce him and get half.
Goodness gracious, that would be some bread. I don't think she's gonna do that though. I think LeBron James.
I think she's cool with it though. I think she knows what's up. I think she's cool with it.
Here we go. LeBron James is influential, man. He came from the bottom. He really came from the bottom, unlike Steph Curry. Came from the bottom, okay, rose to the top, and brought his friends with him. Instead of, just hiring, some professionals to manage the fund and, things like that. He brought his friends along, let them make some mistakes early, you know what I'm saying, but made sure that they got educated and learned how to navigate the business aspect of the professional sports environment. And now they're some of the best in their field.
Now, I respect it. Listen, I don't hate LeBron. I respect what's respectable, and I question the questionable. I do that with anybody. Okay. I respect the respectable, question the questionable.
That sounds like a bunch of nothing. What you just said.
Go research that and come back to me. Next podcast, I want you to report to the people your research on LeBron's. Go to your computer right now and type in LeBron's private school and see what comes up.
I'll do it later. I'll report my findings next week on the Good Guys podcast. We're going to move on. What do we have next, Josh? Smash or pass.
We don't have a. Do we have a one's got to go this week?
We don't.
What? That's the staple of the podcast.
Well, I don't have one. You want to come up with one off the fly?
Man. Man, BD, we don't have a one's got to go.
No one's got to go this week.
You're supposed to come to me with a one's got to go and make me question, like, which one's got to go?
I'm sorry, Josh. I didn't have one this week. I couldn't think of a good one.
All right, we just got to make this food thing funny then.
We've got Smash or Pass.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
All right. So, for those of you who are listening to the podcast, perhaps for the first time ever, okay, we're not talking about the popular social media segment where they're talking about would they smash or pass a male or female. We're the Good Guys podcast. We hold ourselves to a higher moral standard. We're talking about food. Would you smash or would you pass? This week's Smash or Pass comes from Dunkin' Donuts.
Man, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Krispy Kreme, you know I'm Team Krispy.
Oh, well.
KK.
Okay. I mean, yeah, when it comes to donuts, Krispy Kreme is the only establishment we acknowledge on the Good Guys podcast. However, Dunkin' Donuts has introduced waffle breaded chicken tenders.
Okay.
Would you smash? Or would you pass?
Man, chicken tenders are overrated, bro. Because not all places make their chicken tenders the same.
Okay.
When you go to some place, their chicken tenders are either too dry, their chicken tenders are unflavorful. Man, if it's a mean chicken tender, like the thick, juicy ones, like they be having at like Cheddar's. Oh, a Cheddar's one? Cheddar's was like chicken tenders, like the top of the food chain chicken tenders.
Okay. Let me take a look and see if I can pull up a picture of these chicken tenders.
Yeah. Let me know what you find, brother.
I do not think you want these chicken tenders.
Let me look it up, bro.
You know who did this a while back? Popeyes did it a while back.
Man, I don't want to talk about
And they were
Popeyes,
actually good. I'm hesitant to bring up Popeyes because we have some listeners who, for whatever reason, seem to think that they're better than Bojangles. So, I don't even want to introduce that discussion again. But they did have the waffle breaded or the waffle batter, something like that, chicken tenders, and they were kind of good. These from Dunkin' Donuts.
Man, I saw that mess, bro. I'm passing, man. That thing look like a roadkill, bro. That thing look like roadkill. That thing look like a shiny looking animal from Australia, dog. Like a little rodent that just slithers across the floor, bro. Ugh, that don't look right.
It's like flat. They're like flat.
It's like flat. Like I want my chicken tenders like abstract. I want them to be fat in places and then go down to the thin parts. Like I want a real chicken breast. Or chicken, man, bro.
Yeah, if it's flat,
pass.
Then I feel like automatically like it's frozen.
But even when I eat, exactly, everything that I ate from Dunkin' Donuts, they put in a microwave or they put in like some quick heater thing. Their sandwiches, if I ate their sandwiches now, I'll probably be in hypertension.
Hypertension? Their breakfast, you don't like their breakfast sandwiches anymore?
I just think back then I had no choice but to eat them, but it was just too salty. Like the last time I had one was probably like a year and a half ago. And like even Burger King's croissant sandwiches I used to love back in the day. When I tried them again, they just taste like, they don't have no distinct flavors. You know when you go to a restaurant and you bite into a sandwich, you taste the different ingredients? When you bite into these sandwiches, all you taste is sodium phosphate.
What does sodium phosphate taste like?
Sodium phosphate.
Okay. There you don't.
When you bite into it, there's no distinct flavors. You don't. When you go to a mom and pop shop and you see them crack the egg,
Mm-hmm.
and they cook the bacon.
Right.
When you bite into it, you taste every single component.
Mm.
You bite into a croissant sandwich right now, I bet you won't taste nothing but salt.
It tastes a lot of butter.
Yeah, I mean, there's no distinct. Okay, in other words, there's no distinction of flavors. Like a real buttery croissant, you will taste the croissant when you bite into it. You will taste the sausage when you get to it, the egg and the cheese.
Okay.
But when you like, bruh, that Dunkin' Donut looking thing, they got out of a bag, they opened the bag, it was once frozen, they slap it in this thing, put it in the oven, push the little buttons, and look at you and talk emptiness, empty words. How was your day and stuff?
That's exactly how it happens. I have no doubt whatsoever. That is exactly, they take it out of a bag, put it in that little oven, press the button, and give it to
Look
you.
at you.
I don't know. I got excited. I saw it on a commercial, waffle breaded chicken tenders, and I said, "We're going to talk about that on the Good Guys podcast." I didn't look at
And
pictures.
you sacrificed our one's gotta go for this mess.
I mean, some people.
One's gotta go is my favorite segment, bro.
I'm sorry, Josh. I feel like I legitimately let you down on this one.
Yeah, you was lazy this week, bro.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Can we not create a one's gotta go? Can you not dig deep inside of your heart and pull one's gotta go out?
One's got to go. I don't know. We've done a lot of one's got to goes. It's getting kind of hard to come up with new ones.
Man, there's always a one's gotta go in life. You got Target, Walmart, you got all these
We
different
did
places.
that.
We never did that.
We already did that.
We can do
That was
sports
season 1,
teams.
but we did it.
Oh, sports. What did we talk about today? We talked about sports. What's one thing that got to go off a woman?
Whoa. No. I don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, that's not a good idea.
That's
Sorry.
probably the worst idea you've ever
That's
had.
not a good idea. Sorry. What I was
Wow.
going to my topic.
Wow. Well, let me tell you what's got to go.
What's got to go? Left knees got to go. BD, you don't got a one's got to go. We talked about sports today.
Yeah, we talked about some sports.
I mean, but if we do what sports league has to go, that might be easy.
That's why it's hard to come up with these, because that fourth thing is always hard to come up with, because it's always going to be the one that we're going to choose.
Hey, man, I know I'm not the only one disappointed. Comment below if you're disappointed that we don't have one's got to go.
If I get enough comments saying that they're disappointed that one's got to go is not in the podcast, I will ensure that it never happens again.
What else we talked about today? One's got to go. What championship team has to go?
Good looks and dating. How important is that when it comes to dating?
What dating
one's got to go.
establishments
One's got to go. Okay. Looks. Spirituality.
Man.
Intellect.
You know the
intelligence.
bro, the PC answer is gonna we gotta be PC.
What do you mean? Not at all.
Of course looks got.
That's not necessarily true. You got looks, spirituality.
Oh, I know which one. I know which one's got to go.
Looks, spirituality.
Okay.
Intellect. And what else did we say?
The one's got to go is emotions. Just joking.
We did say emotional.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you already know what your answer is.
Yeah. That can go.
But that's what makes them great, though, bro. Can't even knock it. That's what makes them great.
The emotions.
Their intuition, whatever that is.
There you go.
It's somewhere hidden within their emotion. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. We don't have a one's got to go today.
We tried.
We tried, man. We was gonna talk about what's one thing off a woman that has to go. We can't do that.
No, we're not.
We know hockey's got to go, so we're not gonna do sports. So, take us away, Brendan.
All right. Do you have your weekly nugget of truth, Josh?
Weekly nugget of truth. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to understand that before we can look outward, we have to look inward. A lot of us get so consumed on how beautiful someone else is while not observing how ugly we really are. When you look inside of yourself and you realize how ugly you are, it will humble you and really see the beauty in others. Take the time to really be patient, kind, loving, and gentle. And make sure that you see the beauty in your woman today. Make sure you see the beauty in your man today. And also make sure you keep in mind just how ugly you are and work on the ugly areas of your life. Each and every one of us have good, bad, and ugly areas. And it's your responsibility to make sure you continue to blossom while expecting your significant other to blossom. That's all I got, BD.
All right. Well, as usual, we definitely appreciate you guys for listening to the podcast. We definitely hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do enjoy it and you have not done so already, log on to YouTube, type in the Good Guys Podcast, subscribe, like, comment, and share the word to anyone else that you think might enjoy the podcast. That's all we've got for this week. We hope you guys really enjoyed it. Until next week, I don't have anything to say when I say until
Peace.
next week.